Hey guys, Mapletail here. Today we're taking another look at the beta for Cattails Wildwood Story. A lot has been added since I last covered this game, so let's dive right in. We return to the Lilac realm with Overseer Pear and their mate Spark. Let's talk about those two first. Pear finally got to marry Spark, and I finally got to see a wedding ceremony. After giving your chosen cat a shiny trinket, you get a choice between 4 wedding venues: the Festival Plaza, Beach West, the Temple, or a meadow. I went for the flowery meadow as it fit best with the vibe I'm going through with this playthrough. Then you get a little wedding cutscene, complete with your fiancé walking down the aisle and some vows. I assume that if you are close to more cats, they will actually attend your wedding, unlike the empty one I ended up with. But it was also nice just to have a moment with Spark and Pear. You then get a little chance to talk to your new spouse and any guests before returning home. It was all super cute and well worth the wait. Afterwards, you also receive some congratulations from friends in the mail. Also very sweet. Relationship related, I found a wild red rose out in the upper left of the map, which is a great addition as Ember doesn't stock them at the start of the game, and I often found myself waiting for them to get those. Plus, this way is free. Let's talk about probably the biggest addition to the beta, and that's the main story. After a night's sleep, you are greeted with an ominous nightmare from a mysterious figure. One that looks a lot like a spirit similar to the Forest Guardian. I remember Glimmer remarking that there were other spirits like them, so I wonder if this is one of them. They are also definitely related to the Void Cats somehow. After visiting the temple and speaking with Coco, Jag, and the Forest Guardian, you learn that they all had similar spooky dreams. The Forest Guardian assures everyone that this confirms we are meant to live in the Wildwood and overcome this darkness. They speak of mysterious structures around the realm, dark ruins. I saw a couple of them earlier when I was exploring around. They say that we must explore them to uncover the secrets of the Wildwood. After the cutscene, I noticed a new addition to the temple, a kind of statue with pine trees covered in markings. Based on clicking it, it appears to be related to recruiting cats. Since I started the save file before that was a feature, I started out with all the cats already living in town. Something I'll have to check out with my full release playthrough for sure. I headed to one of the ruins to see a bit more story. The Guardian informs me that the ruins used to be a place of light, though that is clearly no longer the case. They also show me the door. It looks like you need 12 cats recruited to open this one. Again, since I already have everyone, I was able to open it right up. And that's where I left the main story. I was very tempted to walk through those doors and see what was inside, but since nearly all the features of the game seem to be out now, I wanted to save something new for my full release playthrough, which ended up being this and the expanded mines. So no main story here yet, and no spoilers if you've checked it out already. The ruins all got marked on my map, so I did end up walking around and triggering all the opening door cutscenes just to get them out of the way. Another very exciting feature of the beta is the museum. Here you can identify and donate any curios, aka human objects, and you give these to Glimmer to display. Glimmer's wildly incorrect explanation of each curio was hilarious, and very much how I imagine a cat would view these items. Curios can be gathered in a few different ways. They can be bought from a couple places, like at the task board, at festivals, and eventually in the mine cave. They can also be found in the mines and out in the Wildwood, though they are incredibly rare there. I did 50 floors of the mine and spent tens of hours walking around outside, and I only found a couple. Buying is definitely the way to go for the most part, especially from the task board in my opinion. The curios also get added to the collections tab, so you can easily view what you've gathered so far. I managed to get a fair few. Less than I would have expected for how much I played, but not so bad. Speaking of collections, I also wanted to give some personal updates there. I was finally able to find a few creatures that I've been missing since the demo, including finding every piece of prey, albeit across my 3 save files, so they aren't all listed here. I caught the legendary cardinal and the massive barbelfish. I also found almost all the bugs I was missing, including the emerald firefly and the ghost beetle, though I still am missing the rarest moth. I'm also missing several hostiles and misc items. I assume that most of those appear in the 2nd and 3rd mines, which I didn't really get to in here. Especially since I swear my hostiles tab was all filled out when I played the demo and the alpha. As far as other things that I missed out on in my first beta video, I was able to get enough resources to craft a wretched talisman. I made myself one and used it in town. I had Spark as my buddy, so they were able to help me in the battle to come. 3 waves of void cats attacked us, but I was well prepared with abilities and healing herbs, so we were able to prevail. It's probably not a feature I will ever make much use of, but it was fun to try, and I can see people who are more into battle get some enjoyment out of it. I was able to build many more of the construction projects. Finishing the barracks to allow 4 patrols every day really helped. I got a couple of the tunnel projects done too, so I was able to see how those worked. In the outdoor build menu, you get to place the tunnel entrances around town, and then you can use them to warp to the 4 corners of the map. Super helpful. We love some fast travel. One thing I wish about the construction system was the ability to make resources here on a toggle system or something, so my realm cats would stop using up all my treasure every day. It can be really hard to keep up with, especially before you have all the barracks upgraded. But I guess maybe that's part of the point. It's less of an issue with prey and herbs, since those are easy to come by, but treasure? Not so much. Let me save them for my projects, please. Let's get into another system that was added. You may have seen glimpses of it in this video already, and that's achievements. There are a whole bunch, and you are rewarded for each one with experience points. I'm sure this will be a lot of fun for achievement hunters, and I enjoyed it too, even if I wasn't super focused on trying to get them all. This leads into some technical stuff. More accessibility options were added, including the ability to disable achievements, and I noticed that the day length settings were new there too. Always good to see stuff like that being included in games. I also heard there was a balance update added, but I've only played on the default difficulty, so I can't really speak to that. I can talk about load times and optimization though. On my trash laptop, load times, especially when first launching the game, are notably faster. There also appears to be a little less lag when I record my screen, which is great. I want to talk about one achievement in particular I was convinced I would not be able to unlock this playthrough, and that's world domination. Even in Cattails 1, I've always wanted to take over the entire map, but so far that has not come to pass. Until now. With the help of Talon and their incredibly helpful ability for such a task, I was able to claim every single tile on the map, and I'm really proud about it. I had filmed when I thought this was going to happen down on the volcano, but when I cleared the tile and looked on in confusion as no achievement appeared, I then double-checked the rest of my map and realized I had just barely missed the tile to the northeast. After a quick trip up there though, I had finally done it. A great feeling. Pear also grew super close to Talon through all this exploration, and I got super attached to them and their story. Let's talk kittens. Some more little guys I got attached to. Pear and Spark had their litter after much waiting. It was as difficult as ever to choose which appearances for these little guys, but the names came pretty easy. I decided on Peony, Pansy, Sap, and Soot, using my preferred naming convention of using the first letter of their parents' names as inspiration. After only a couple days, they were already up and talking, and even able to buddy up with Pear. A nice change of pace from the first game, which took much longer in that department. I love how much personality the kittens have. They feel just about as fleshed out as any other cat, and I love learning more and more about them. Sap comes off as really mature and a bit strange, which I love. And they're always there for their siblings. Also a great asset when they help me in the mines. Soot is on the shy side and likes to stay cozy at home. But they also asked Jag if they could help watch over the realm, and the two did so quietly together. Pansy is an adorable little artist who wants to do all sorts of art as they grow, especially wanting to help with the festival decorations, and is always drawing for their family. Peony is excitable and always looking for new adventure at Pear's side, while being a bit of a troublemaker. I love them all so much. You can also dress them up too. I tried a bunch of different looks before finding accessories that I felt fit them all best. The kittens also attend festivals once they're old enough, and can even participate in the minigames. I felt a bit bad about beating two of them at the turtle races. I also found a new minigame at the festivals, like Catfish River and Paw Hunt, and that's Dice Roll. Just a simple little game of chance, where you guess if the second roll will be higher or lower, but a nice quick way to earn more tokens. Once I took over all the tiles and let Talon rest, I spent a lot of time buddied up with the kittens, teaching them the skills they'd need in the Wildwood. I also found the retrain feature. Your kittens start off with preset skills, but using experience you can teach them different ones. By the looks of it, any skills known by the other cats of the realm are available here. Very cool. I left them as is, but in my next playthrough, I definitely want to do some kitten skill customization. Especially that ability that Talon has for taking over territory. I got really close to every cat this time around, and was able to max out my friendship with everyone, including my kittens eventually. Though I forgot to get footage of that. I also want to show off the gift records. Now, whenever you give a gift to a cat, it gets added to their profile so you can keep track of what they like. Very helpful if you're trying to befriend everyone. Which, in the beta, has some amazing new benefits, like the next thing I'll be talking about. Events. In my opinion, this is one of the best updates to the game. Walking around the Wildwood and visiting cats' houses can sometimes trigger an event. A small cutscene between two or more cats where you learn more about everyone and their relationships to each other. Amazing. I was able to see a little over 20 of them, and I'm obsessed. I got to see Alabaster recruit Fliss, Lainey, Coco, and Ellie to help them de-seed some raspberries. Buttercup opening up and spending the evening with Bob, the first guest they've had since moving to my realm. Alabaster, Ember, Rosemary, and Ellie complaining about noisy youngsters Spark and Charlotte. Ellie asking Garlic's favorite season, a question they've never been asked before. Champ giving a mouse to Ellie, and telling how they want to protect and provide for all the cats they love. Fliss asking Alabaster for help getting plants for making paint for their sibling Lainey. Talon gathering herbs for a very grateful and impressed Crampy. Even leaving a red rose among the pile. And so many more. Which brings us to rival marriages. I've read that there are 5 preset possible pairings, and I was able to find 3, maybe 4 of them. So spoiler warning for that. The first was my absolute favorite, and it makes a surprising amount of sense, and that's Talon and Crampy. Because of Talon's declining health and Crampy being a doctor, the two spend a lot of time together. They also have a lot of respect for each other. Talon wanting to protect Crampy, seeing what a valuable asset they are to the realm, and Talon going out of their way to help them. While Crampy appreciates all that Talon does for them, and the realm too, both of them put a lot of effort into their roles, which is part of the reason they get on so well. I got to watch all their events, and then Crampy approached Pear and asked them if they should ask Talon to marry them. I said I thought that was a great idea, of course, and then I got to watch their wedding. They had many more guests than Pear and Spark did, but I'm just so happy for the two of them. The other couples that got together in my playthrough were Alabaster and Fliss and Ellie and Champ. Both couples being super cute. I'm pretty sure that Bob and Buttercup were an option too, based on the events, though I haven't been asked about a proposal just yet. And I have no real idea about who the fifth pair is. I have a feeling it must involve Spark, and that's why I haven't seen it. Maybe them and Charlotte? They're both young and had one event together. I'll have to see later, I guess. I wasn't going to try to get to the bottom of the mine again, but as I was waiting for rival marriage kittens to trigger, I needed something else to do. Sadly, I still haven't gotten said kitten events, and may end up needing to wait until the full game is out before I do. But I do have some things to share about the mines. With Sap's help, I did make it to floor 100 like I did in the demo, but there was something new at the bottom. A key. This key opens up the second mine. Like I mentioned earlier, this isn't something I want to explore in this playthrough, but it did unlock some unexpected stuff. And that's a new mine shop. It was filled with new clothes and new recipes, like dynamite for making mining faster, which will be great, and a supply trove which makes donating resources double. Oh, so very cool. This is also where you can buy red rose seeds. There's no way I would make it this far in the game without being married already, but I can see it being helpful for some. The clothes were the most exciting bit for me, and it helped me finish Pear's look. I always knew I wanted the antlers from the Winterfest for Pear, but the silver crown stacked on top is too perfect. Also, can I just say that I love that you can stack accessories on top of each other? The last thing I wanted to mention is I was able to find my chosen name of Adara appear on one of the randomly generated cats that patrol the Wildwood. I was very happy for a chance to speak with them, and they were so cute. I've seen Adara once before, as I talked about in a previous video, but we both died before I could speak to them or even take a video or screenshot. So this was a nice redo. Before I leave y'all, about a month later, after recording most of this footage, I went back to Pear's save file for one more look at trying to get some rival kittens. I waited until the end of autumn and luckily triggered the event for Fliss and Alabaster's kit on Winter 1. They brought the little guy to Pear's door to introduce us. Their name is Salem, and they are so cute. I'm so glad I went back to do this, and really can't wait to unlock them all in the full release when I replay. Also, I recognized Salem. They appear to be one of the kittens on the game's banner. I wasn't expecting that. They've been there all along. And that's it from me. And the beta, for real. Thanks for watching. Every time I play this game, I fall further in love with it. I hope you enjoyed what is probably the end of my time with Pear. I sure did. I think for the full release, I want to put together a little let's play of it along with my usual review. I am pretty nervous about it, but I want to push myself to try. I guess we'll see in not too long, as the game has recently been announced to be fully releasing on October 20th. Anyways, I'll see you next Thursday.